let me temporarily withdraw. But even as I withdraw, Senator Kinyua knows the honor of the goose.
Senator Mandago. Senator Mandago.
Okay, Madam Speaker.
Please.
So that I can complete my submission, let me withdraw that statement, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
The point is made. But I wanted to say that even as the Constitution allows for people to picket, demonstrate, and take their petitions, Madam Speaker, the Constitution also protects the wealth and the business and properties of others. Madam Speaker, in the future, those organizing for demonstration should take responsibility for any destruction of business or property that is destroyed in the course of that demonstration, Madam Speaker, so that people can call for genuine demonstrations. We want to see people picketing, taking their petitions the way we've seen the health workers bring to Parliament. We want to see people taking their petitions to the police headquarters. We want to see people taking their petitions to the Cabinet Secretary for Security to demand where there is insecurity, Madam Speaker, they take to the right.
Senator Nyoto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support the statement by the Senator for Kakamega. Madam Speaker, regarding demonstrations and the resultant killings and destruction of property. And Madam Speaker, we must start by saying that it is the right of every Kenyan, when they have a reason to demonstrate peaceably and unarmed. That is a right that cannot be taken away from Kenyans, Madam Speaker. The other thing that concerns me as a person is that no one is addressing the causes of these particular demonstrations. We have had young people demonstrating, and they have grievances against the government. And government has not even made an attempt at resolving or at addressing these grievances. It is time, Madam Speaker, that the government of Kenya starts addressing the root cause of these demos and not just demonizing those that demonstrate, Mr. Speaker. I must also express my very deep, I should call it embarrassment that, Madam Speaker, the head of state can address this issue without first giving a message of condolences or passing a message of condolences to those who have lost loved ones, especially through a police bullet, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, even as we discuss this matter, we must say and be very categorical that it is true anyone who destroys life or property must be made to face the law. But, Madam Speaker, we cannot apply the law selectively. And I say this because, Madam Speaker, there are some youths now charged under the Terrorism Act, supposedly for touching the police station in Kikuyu, Madam Speaker. While another police station was touched in Mawego Police Station, Madam Speaker, in Homa Bay County. The youths that were that perpetrated that, none of them has been charged under the Terrorism Act, Madam Speaker. So the law must be applied equally, Madam Speaker. We cannot have youths from a particular region being charged under the Terrorism Act, while, Madam Speaker, there are youths from another region that, Madam Speaker, are charged under a different regime.
What's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I raise understanding order 105 on the issue of accuracy of statement and facts. And then Madam Speaker, I needed the senator is out of order. Because under this constitution, under article on the Director of Public Prosecution is an independent office.
Senator Cherargei, what is your point of order?
My point of order, Madam Speaker, is for the senator to allege that the government is charging youth from one particular region with terrorism, yet he knows under the Constitution the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is an independent office.
Senator Cherargei, what is the contradiction? He said youth from one side are charged with a different offense from youth from another. What is your point of order?
My point of order, Madam Speaker, is insinuating that the government is charging, yet it is the DPP who does the charge of suspects.
Senator Cherargei, I think your point of order is not clear, so Senator Newton, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And it is important that when we address issues in this House, that, Madam Speaker, we do not speak for the gallery to please somebody from somewhere, that even the points of order that we raise are substantive, that we do not just stand up and raise points of orders to please a particular being somewhere. Madam Speaker, having said that, I want to say, Madam Speaker, that we cannot be blaming people.
Honorable Senators, I have a communication to make on visiting teachers and pupils from Njoguini Primary School in Nyandarua County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Njoguini Primary School in Nyandarua County. The delegation comprises 8 teachers and 43 pupils who are in the Senate for one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Is the Senator for Nyandarua? Do you want to welcome them for 2 minutes, please?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to welcome the teachers and pupils of Njoguini Primary School, Nyandarua County, Budas, Murang'a County.
Senator Mandago,
Senator Mandago.
What is the issue? Just hold on.
Chair, you know, because the school is on an academic tour, I think it is important for them to know, and they know that their senator is John Methu, the senator for Nyandarua. Senator Nyutu is the senator for Murang'a. And just for further information, Madam Speaker, Nyandarua County is in the Rift Valley. It would have been appropriate for me to welcome this delegation.
Senator Mandago, you have a point on the fact that the senator for Nyandarua is Senator Methu, but I will proceed to allow Senator Nyutu to welcome them on behalf of Senator.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is the kind of standing orders, Madam Speaker, that I had taken issue with. Now, the former governor who was in issue wants this House to believe that Nyandarua County is actually in Rift Valley County. Nyandarua County Senator Mandago is in Mount Kenya, to be specific, in central Kenya, and it borders Murang'a County, and I stood here as a neighbor of Nyandarua County to welcome the good pupils from Njoguini Primary School in Nyandarua County. And I want to tell them, welcome to this particular house. Your senator, Senator John Methu, is out on official business, and as John Nyutu, senator from Murang'a County, I stand in for Senator John Methu while welcoming you here. I believe that you are going to have a very fruitful experience here, and you will learn from the discussions that we are having here. But one thing I ask you is that when you grow up, please be reasonable in your debates and your actions, and do not take some lessons that are negative from some of us. Otherwise, God bless Njoguini Primary School. Your teachers, your future is very bright, that I assure you. Karibuni sana. Asante.
Honorable Senators, I have another communication to make on visiting teachers and pupils from Bonanza. Order, Senator Nyutu. Senator Nyutu, please. I have a communication to make on visiting teachers and pupils from Bonanza Primary School in Embu County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Bonanza Primary School in Embu County. The delegation comprises 4 teachers and 29 pupils who are in the Senate for one-day academic exposition. Honorable members, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. I'd like to invite Senator Mutinda to welcome our team from Embu. Senator Mundigi, who is the senator, is out shortly.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Senator of Embu, your Senator Mundigi, is just stepped out on official duties, but actually is always my immediate neighbor. I'm also an alumni of St. Anne's High School from the great county of Embu. So I'm also a product of Embu when it comes to my O levels. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Senate. It is the upper house. We also wish you the best as you continue doing what you're supposed to do to the younger ones. Do not set the examples that we saw last week that were set by one of the best schools in this country, Alliance Girls. What we saw one teacher doing to our young people. I urge you teachers to go and do the best and have products like this, as I pride in being one of the students from the great county of Embu. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I'll give a few more as I request whips to mobilize for Kara. Senator Hamida.
Asante bi mwenyekiti. Langu tu nilikuwa ni kuchangia hii mambo ya huduma ya Kenya Airways na Jambo Jet, Madam Speaker. Huduma hii imekuwa dhaifu, imeshuka chini na inasikitisha kuwa hata bei yake ya Kenya Airways na Jambo Jet imepanda juu na imekuwa vigumu kwa wananchi wa Kenya wenyewe kusafiria, kuitumia. Bi mwenyekiti, hii tungependekeza ama ningependekeza kuwa wakishusha bei ya ndege itafanya mambo yatakuwa rahisi kwa watu, kwa sisi local wa Kenya kuweza kusafiria. Lakini kwa sasa huu mfumo wa utoaji leseni ulio na masharti, yamekuwa na masharti magumu. Kwa hivyo imekuwa ndege zimekuwa chache tu za kwenda Mombasa, Nairobi. Kwa hivyo serikali ingefanya hima kuwa iweze kutoa leseni nyingi kwa shirika za ndege zingine ili kuwe na competition, na ndio tuweze Wakenya waweze pia kufaidika. Na saa zingine kuwa wanajaribu kuwa hali ambayo inaweza wangeweza kuwa na hali ile, wangeweza kuipunguza ili ifanye kuwe na mvuto wa tourists kuja Kenya zaidi. Lakini kama ndege ya local, kusema kweli bei yake ipo juu tu na Wakenya wengi hawawezi kuweza kulipa hiyo bei iko juu. Kwa hivyo bi mwenyekiti, mimi namuunga Senator Faki mkono kuwa bei ya Kenya Airways na Jambo Jet kusema kweli iweze kushuka chini na huduma zake pia zao ziwe bora zaidi. Na sasa pia tumeanza kuona kuwa Kenya Airways bado huwa lazima ndege ziwe zimechelewa. Kumekuwa na kuchelewa ndege, kama unaondoka saa 2 unajikuta unaondoka saa 7 ya mchana. Kama unaondoka saa 7 utajikuta unaondoka jioni. Kwa hivyo pia haina utaratibu wa time wa saa zake ukamilifu wa kuweza kufanya kazi vizuri. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali iweze kusaidia Kenya Airways kuwa wawe na huduma bora na pia fedha ama malipo ya ndege yapunguke.
Senator Veronica.
Honourable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to speak into one of the statements that has been brought to the floor of this House by Honourable Dr. Bonnie Halwale. Honourable Speaker, I want to first quote Article 3 of the Constitution, that every person has an obligation to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution, and any attempt to establish a government otherwise than in compliance with this Constitution is unlawful. I'm quoting this because, Honourable Speaker, what we have seen in the maandamano that we experienced on 7th of July and 25th of June is not anything to write home about. Very well-intentioned demonstrations were turned into violent protestations, and instead of peaceably proceeding to demonstrate and raising the issues that public believes that they wanted to raise, there was so much infiltration from the political front that what we ended up with was loss of life, destruction of property, and we also saw careers curtailed and occupations brought down, Honourable Speaker, and even those Gen Zs who are working in those businesses now cannot wake up and proceed to work. From my end, I think our public and ourselves, we need to school ourselves once again on the constitutional stipulations when we are exercising our freedoms and rights, because rights carry obligations. They ride with obligations. And where somebody has a right, that right must not breach the rights of other citizens. And what we saw, Honourable Speaker, easily makes us think that we should actually not have demonstrations in Kenya for now. Because, Honourable Speaker, why would anybody even compel young people to go to the streets just to be in conflict with the police officers, Honourable Speaker, because they know at the end of the day there will be infiltration of that demonstration. The harm outweighs the good now. When it comes to destruction of property, loss of life, the intended good by Article 37 of the Constitution has been overridden by the harm that was caused, and even loss of one life is one too many for the nation of Kenya. We need to rethink, as a nation, what is our pledge, our loyalty pledge to the nation? What is our pledge? And I want to cite the Americans, Honourable Speaker, who value and treasure their nation and uphold their flag. They defend and protect their nation. Why are we not able to do that in the exercise of our rights under the Constitution?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am presuming that you have granted me the floor to also... Thank you very much. I equally want to support the statement by Senator Bonnie Halwale on the consequences of what was initially meant to be a very constitutionally protected right under Article 37 of the Constitution to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions, which, Madam Speaker, unfortunately turned out to be a destructive experience which this country has previously not experienced. Madam Speaker, the statement, whereas it is seeking, which I believe once it's committed to the committee, will seek to establish certain actions the government intends to do or has done, and also statistics on what the consequences became of those demonstrations, will, again, Madam Speaker, seek to establish beyond the statement, because whereas Article 37, as everyone else has said, entitles one to freely demonstrate and picket and present petitions, it equally gives that particular person a mandate and obligation in law to ensure that other people's rights, which are protected by the same Constitution, are not affected. Madam Speaker, this corresponding right has completely been thrown into the docks. When you look at what transpired on the demonstrations of 25th and the ones on Sabasaba, Madam Speaker, did not in any way resonate well with what the law requires of those organizers of the demonstrations, as well as those who participated in the demonstrations on that particular day. For instance, Madam Speaker, when you look at Sabasaba, that is something that we have for a very long time, since the 90s, before a good number of us were born. We have commemorated the day called Sabasaba, and during all those demonstrations and commemorations, we have not experienced the destructions of public property, private property, the killings of innocent Kenyans and people who were not participating in the process before. For all this period, Madam Speaker, the commemoration equally has been confined to one rallying code that required of that particular day to remember those who fought for this country to get multi-party democracy. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, it was hijacked by the political class, hijacked by those who were keen on destroying, stealing, and killing. The statistics, Madam Speaker, today, which the Ministry of Interior provided as to the value of the property that was lost, both public and private, is not anything to write home about. It is no longer, Madam Speaker, a demonstration, and it's very unfortunate that sometimes even members of this House who've talked before me are seeking to profile to the extent that they are making reference to certain arrests and people being charged of various, of certain communities.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Order number 10 is hereby deferred, and allow me to rearrange the rest of the business so that we can now move on to order number 13.
Order number 13, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2025, second reading.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me to, I beg to move that the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Revenue Bill 2025, Senate Bill number 9, to be read a second time, Madam Speaker.
Senator Cherarki, I think you were here when the Speaker guided on what should happen. I think you're stretching your luck. Please sit down and listen carefully. So you want to exchange with me on that now?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the County Allocation Bill 2025 was tabled before this House, Madam Speaker, as per our standing orders. And the County Allocation Bill 25 has been prepared in accordance with the Article 218(1) of the Constitution. The bill divides among counties the revenue allocated to the county level of government through the Division of Revenue Act. And the Act, Madam Speaker, does provide that the financial year 2025-2026 allocation, Madam Speaker, through the committee that I serve as a Vice Chair, Madam Speaker, we were able to propose 465 billion, Madam Speaker. And the National Assembly had proposed 405, Madam Speaker. This resulted to a mediation process. I was able also to sit with my other colleagues in the mediation committee to mediate on the division of revenue, Madam Speaker. And we unanimously finally agreed on 415 billion, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, as I proceed, I want to state that the bill contains two schedules. And it will be very important, Madam Speaker, for colleagues to know that in these two schedules, we have the fourth schedule, Madam Speaker, and the fourth schedule divides the county equitable share amongst counties in accordance with the fourth basis of revenue allocation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before we got into this level, we had to look at the parameters that we went through from what the stakeholders had submitted, starting with the CRA, Madam Speaker. And we tabled this to the House as far as the formula is concerned. I'm happy that colleagues were able to agree, and hence now I'm here before this House to table the bill, Madam Speaker. The fourth schedule, Madam Speaker, provides that the first 387.425 billion is the baseline allocation and is to be shared on each county's allocation for financial year 2024-2025. Remember, Madam Speaker, that this is the previous allocation, 387.425. And where we are at 415 is an increment of 28 billion, Madam Speaker, to the counties. The next, Madam Speaker, is 4.46 billion, which is an affirmative action that we were able to agree that was given or was shared to the 12 counties. Madam Speaker, these 12 counties are Elgeyo Marakwet, we have Embu County, Isiolo County, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga County. Madam Speaker, these are the counties whose allocation has been below 6 billion. Apparently, it's only the county of Lamu, as per the schedule, that is still below, but the rest were able to at least achieve the 6 billion, Madam Speaker, at least. The balance, Madam Speaker, which amounts to 23.115 billion, was now shared as per the 4 parameters that we were able to agree as a House and as a committee, whereby the population weight was settled at 45%. The poverty index weight was also settled at 12%. The geographical size index, Madam Speaker, settled at 8%. Remember, this is the discussion we had for the issues of land. And we said land does not increase in this country. And so we felt that the parameter should not be increasing. The basic share index, Madam Speaker, was also settled at 35%, which brings a total of 100% in these 4 parameters. So it is important that when members look at the schedule, this is how these figures have been achieved, Madam Speaker. As I proceed, the second schedule to the bill, Madam Speaker, has also provided a recurrent expenditure budget ceilings for the county assemblies. And during this just recent recess period, as a committee, we were able to sit with over 20 county assemblies looking at their request as far as the issue of their expenditure budget ceilings for them, the county assemblies were concerned, Madam Speaker. So in this second schedule, Madam Speaker, we were able to look at the needs. We were able to consider in terms of the different issues that they presented, Madam Speaker. In the processing of it, Madam Speaker, you find that some of these budget changes were brought about by the issue of the inflation, Madam Speaker. Some assemblies also pointed out on the issue of increased medical costs that they needed to be able to at least cover their members or their staff, Madam Speaker. Some of them needed to have or to purchase office equipment. Some of them needed mobility as far as transport is concerned, because you find that some counties have got quite different types of hardships. And so we were able to look at these different issues that the county assemblies presented and ensured that we adjusted their ceilings depending on the different needs that they presented before the committee, Madam Speaker. Allow me to also recognize, Madam Speaker, the different stakeholders that we've been able to walk this journey with, led by none other than the CS Mbadi, the CS Treasury and Planning, whom we've walked this journey as far as Division of Revenue is concerned. The Council of Governors. Remember, Madam Speaker, their proposal was actually 536, Madam Speaker. But as a House, we've given them a total of 28 billion as an increment. And I want to tell the governors, this is not their money. This money is not given to governors as individuals. It is given to the institution, the county, which has structures, and the governor is the CEO. It is prudent that with this increment, let them prioritize the issue of the pending bills. We push a lot for them to have these increments. We also push a lot for them to have timely disbursements. So they should also do the needful, Madam Speaker, and ensure that suppliers are paid and paid on time, Madam Speaker. CRA, we've worked closely, and we continue working very closely with them. Remember that the ones who submitted their first formula, we were able to really dig deeper into the formula that they had presented. The County Assemblies Forum, they have a structure, they have a body that we've worked very closely with. The Institute of Public Finance, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, Madam Speaker. The Institute, Madam Speaker, of Economic Affairs, Institute of Social Accountability and Budgetary Hub. These are institutions that really we work very close with, so that we can be able to ensure that we maximize when it comes to matters public participation, Madam Speaker. The committee, having considered the bill and stakeholder submissions, we were able to make some several observations, which included sharing of the revenue amongst the county, that is the 415, as per the two schedules that I've communicated, the first schedule, which is the fourth basis, and the second schedule for the County Assembly, Madam Speaker. The overall ceiling to the counties assemblies has been enhanced by 1.89 billion from the approved 36.37 for the financial year 2024-2025 to 38.26 proposed for financial year 25-26. The county executive ceilings, as provided by CRA, reveals a significant shift from the previous financial year, with 10.3 billion decline. CRA indicated that this was informed by the quantification and various expenditure needs. There are various expenditure needs that have also arisen, especially in the county assemblies, Madam Speaker, due to time lapse. For instance, the Hansard systems that has also lapsed for over the years, and this needed to be put into the modern digital standard that is in place. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I would want really that this bill be adopted, and I would really also extend the same gratefulness to my committee members, whom we work very closely, because you realize, Madam Speaker, that our bills at the Committee of Finance are timely bills. And I appreciate, because you also have to readjust and rearrange the order paper because of the timelines that we have as far as these bills are concerned, the Secretariat that we work also very closely with, and all the stakeholders that I've mentioned. I would request to call in Senator Cherargei to second, Madam Speaker.
The seconder, Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to support the committee for the good work. I think this is the only committee, apart from, of course, you as truly of Public Accounts Committee, that is doing a good job. I think, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the committee vice chair, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, for always being there and ensuring that.
Yes, what's your point of order, Senator Sigit?
Chair, is it in order for Senator Cherargei, as he moves to second, for him to say that there are only 2 committees in all of Senate that are actually working?
Senator Cherargei, that assumption, do you want to correct instead of arguing that only 2 committees are working?
Madam Speaker, I say industrious committees.
No. You said the only 2. It is very clear.
These are only 2.
You said the only 2 that are working.
Senator
Cherargei, you know what you said. Please.
Can the answer bear me witness? If I have committed
Senator
the wrong,
Cherargei,
then I can withdraw and apologize. No, I just really want to get what I said, Madam Speaker. I don't
Secretariat,
mind.
can you indicate what Senator Cherargei said?
Yes, please.
Okay, everybody, can you hold on? We get a minute. Senator Mutinda. Senator Cherargei, you can continue, and the verification will be brought as in due course. You can continue moving the and.
Thank you, Madam Speaker,
Senator,
for the understanding.
Senator Veronica, what do you mean by point of clarification? I mean, you've not said anything. Why are you clarifying anything? I think let Senator...
Point of information. Point of information.
Senator Cherargei, do you want to be informed? Thank you. Okay. Let Senator Cherargei proceed.
Please. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want from the onset, and thank you for your understanding, Madam Speaker. You know you are my neighbor. Madam Speaker, thank you very much. As I rise to second, I want to celebrate this Committee of Finance and Budget, and more so the Vice Chairperson, Senator Tabitha Mutinda. And I'm told she's looking for something with this Nairobi City County, and I wish her well. I think she has outdone herself, Madam Speaker, in this committee, and I hope to see her in future senior leadership positions in this country. Madam Speaker, as I read you know, Article 210 of the Constitution is very clear on a number of allocation, the county allocation. Madam Speaker, it behooves, I think, Article 96. The role of Senate and us is to protect devolution. The reason all of us should be here, and I know my colleagues are following keenly as they, on the floor of the House and also in our launch, Madam Speaker, this is very critical. I'm happy, and I want to commend, although, Madam Speaker, I had somebody trying to castigate the former Prime Minister in one of the events, which is very uncalled for, because as a Senate we had sat and said 465 billion should go to counties. Madam Speaker, it is the economic reality. And even me, I was at the beginning, Madam Speaker, I was disappointed because we thought counties should get more. Because looking at the national budget of 4.2 trillion, we thought even counties should get 50% of the national budget, Madam Speaker. But because of the economic realities, Madam Speaker, the Committee of Finance and Budget and the mediated came back with 415 billion to the counties, and I want to set the record straight. To many Kenyans from our 47 counties, we did add almost 28 billion to counties, Madam Speaker, up from last year when we had 387 billion last year, Madam Speaker, under shareable revenue. So there is additional funds, and I want the fourth estate, Kenyans and governors, Madam Speaker, to get right. There was an additional funding to counties, courtesy of our mediation committee and also the Committee of Finance and Budget. Madam Speaker, for example, Nandi, we are going to get an additional up to 7.7 billion in shareable revenue. Madam Speaker, for Kenyans to understand, shareable revenue is not inclusive of additional funds, conditional funds, Madam Speaker, such as grants, and also outside on-source revenue. Madam Speaker, so that Kenyans can understand. You know, many people confuse, and you know, governors take advantage and tell people there is no money that has been released in Nairobi. Yet they are not telling Kenyans there is additional funds, there is conditional funds, Madam Speaker, including grants. I know later in the day, Madam Speaker, with your indulgence and understanding, they will be able to move equalization fund, which is yet to be released, Madam. All this money will one way and another go to our county for development. So on this shareable revenue, I'm happy, Madam Speaker, that as a House, we did sit, and it is our vision, Madam Speaker, to have counties get more funds day in, day out for the benefit of development, Madam Speaker. I agree. I saw the Senator of Nairobi bring a statement on the stalled projects in Nairobi City County. Those are challenges that we are facing, Madam Speaker. Even in my own county, I did indicate early that, for example, there are so many stalled projects, Madam Speaker. In fact, the Nandi County Assembly did consider an ad hoc report where 6 billion Kenyan shillings worth of projects cannot be accounted by the county government of Nandi, Madam Speaker. And it is very unfortunate because when you go to Chepter, where I was there on Friday, Chepter Nyawad, Madam Speaker, as told Yet the people of Masab sub-county and people around have to go to Western to seek medical services. You come to Kobuja, Madam Speaker, hospital, it is also stalled. You go to Kapsengere Hospital, which is neighboring you to Kisumu County, in Terik Ward, is also stalled, and it is affecting provision of health services in that region, Madam Speaker. I hope when we push to increase this money through conditional allocation, Madam Speaker, of revenue to counties, it will assist to jumpstart like Kapsengere, Madam Speaker. Even when you come to newborn mother and baby in Kapsabet Town Hospital, Madam Speaker, it's very unfortunate. It is wobbling. It is yet to be completed, Madam Speaker. Go to Kabie Dairies. It has been built for the last 8 years by the county government of Nandi, yet they have not been able to even manufacture 100 millimeters of milk that can be processed in that criminal. Yet that project being co-financed, Madam Speaker, it has consumed close to 1 billion Kenya shillings, Madam Speaker. When you go to, Madam Speaker, even on Friday, Madam Speaker, I had an occasion of attending a retirement party of Mwalimu Limo in Kamakap, in Aldai. I was able to pass a dispensary, Madam Speaker, called Kabwareng, or Kibwareng, Madam Speaker, and you could find there is no sufficient drugs. The provision of medical services is very wanting. So this this county allocation of revenue to counties should jumpstart, Madam Speaker. I have heard the mover, my sister, Senator Mutinda, has alluded on the issue of pending bills. As we talk today, Madam Speaker, it is almost 200 billion that are pending bills, Madam Speaker. The reason we push for more increment to counties, Madam Speaker, is to ensure counties are able to pay their first charge, which is pending bills, Madam Speaker. It is sad, Madam Speaker. When you go to Kisumu County, Busia, all the way to Mandera, there are so many young businessmen and women who have gotten diabetes or high blood pressure because they have done their only mistake was to work for county governments, Mr. Speaker. They are yet to be paid. You saw in some instances, I think a few months, somebody somewhere, one of our counties had to work naked, bare naked, because they have yet to be paid. Madam Speaker, most of the projects that is being done by our businessmen and women, including Nandi County, Madam Speaker, they have yet to be paid by county government. And yet most of those, they took through LPO to get loans, Madam Speaker. They have been able to get loans. They have guaranteed through their land. They have guaranteed through their own money, Madam Speaker. Can you believe there are Kenyans, Madam Speaker, who provided for service and goods, and even in counties, Madam Speaker, that are yet to be paid? Because I don't know, this money that we give to county governments, Madam Speaker, what do they use for? Because, Madam Speaker, the reason devolution was done was to give opportunity to so many Kenyans across our counties, Madam Speaker, to have an opportunity to do business at our counties, Madam Speaker. Even here in Nairobi, there was even a case of a legal fees of almost 2 billion, Madam Speaker, that is yet to be paid. There is a number, in fact, the largest 80%, 60 to 80% of the pending bill, that's around 200 billion, comes from Nairobi, Madam Speaker. And you heard today there was a statement of most of the stalled projects in this county, Madam Speaker. And you have seen even occasions where it rains, the roads within network within the city that should be maintained by the county government of Nairobi, Madam Speaker, is yet to be achieved. And somebody says, and I remember the governor used to say that lazima iwork. It looks like it doesn't work, Madam Speaker. So some of these challenges that we are facing, including the issue of pending bills, Madam Speaker, must be considered so that counties, Madam Speaker, can have opportunity to put in place, Madam Speaker. Number 3 point, Madam Speaker, as I move, is that the control of budget. I know the control of budget, Madam Speaker, has been having a problem. We have a sit-in on a number of occasions, and I want to challenge the Committee on Finance and Budget, Madam Speaker, to sit with control of budget. Because another challenge, Madam Speaker, most of the counties apply for requisition. They get, and you know, the biggest elephant in the room, Madam Speaker, is voiding of payments, Madam Speaker. Somebody requests to pay A through control of budget, but when the money is released through the county CRF account, they pay B. And that is when voiding of payments happens, Madam Speaker. We have seen a county like my county, they did avoiding payments of only 500 million, where they tell the control of budget they are going to pay Y, but they pay Z, Madam Speaker. And that is what is killing counties. That is why you need to look, I don't know whether you need to look nice or something for governors to pay you or something like that, because it doesn't make sense. We push for the increment, then this issue of pending bills, Madam Speaker, or the issue of control of budget. I know governors, when they hear this, They are very uncomfortable with COB, Madam Speaker, and you are aware because you have sat with us in this house and you sit also in a number of committees. They are very uncomfortable because the controller of budget, we need to ask her, Madam Nyakango, to be on the lookout because we don't want that requisition to counties after we allocated funds to be used for voiding of payments, and that is what is killing counties, Madam Speaker. Number 4 point, Madam Speaker, is on the issue of Office of the Auditor General, Madam Speaker. I know while we fight for this money to be released, before I conclude with that on the Office of the Auditor General, under Article 219, Madam Speaker, the law is very clear. Why is it that every time, and I know Finance and Budget has been on the receiving end, and even the CS in charge of Treasury, John Bahari, Madam Speaker, on many occasions we have been complaining.
Senator Cherarke, your words have been brought to me now. Do you want to sit for a second? This is what you said. Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to support the committee for the good work, I think this is the only committee, apart from, of course, you as truly public accounts committee. So the wording is clear. You actually said it's the only one. I think it impugns improper motive about the other committees. So I kindly request that you withdraw.
Madam Speaker, I profusely withdraw and apologize, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the 4th point I wanted to make is on Article 219. I know we did sanction the former CS of National Treasury, Ukuri Yatani, in the last session for delay in disbursement to counties, Madam Speaker. Article 219 of the Constitution 2010 is very clear. When the money is released, Madam Speaker, it should be released to counties without undue delay, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I want to appeal to the CS of National Treasury. I know the Finance and Budget, Madam Speaker, we have been demanding questions, especially, Madam Speaker, when counties do not receive their funds in time, Madam Speaker. We want counties so that when we bring them for accountability, when we ask them questions, when we do oversight as per Article 96, Madam Speaker, we are able to hold them to account, Madam Speaker. I know this Article 219 has been abused, Madam Speaker. Why would counties go without the money for more than a quarter, Madam Speaker, in the financial year? In fact, I know there are challenges of collection of revenue in the country, but that one should not be justification, Madam Speaker. I want also to request counties, because the biggest problem is own source revenue. In most of these counties, Madam Speaker, they are collecting revenue either automated system. And in most of the occasions, Madam Speaker, they don't get value. They don't own some of those. I have seen my brother, Governor Kimani Wamatangi, who was here, courtesy of your office, Madam Speaker, and I saw somewhere that they presented there has been an increment in terms of collection of revenue. We have seen a number of counties projecting. So we want to request them that their county treasury, the money they get, they must use for the value of the many Kenyans that we see. So this, Madam Speaker, should be a wake-up call to many of our people, Madam Speaker, so that we can see development going into the future, Madam Speaker. And I request colleagues, Madam Speaker, even as we consider that these funds we push to counties, Madam Speaker, we must be very... And another aspect, Madam Speaker, I want to challenge counties in conclusion. Because we have so many challenges of young people, lack of opportunities, I want to call upon counties to be creative. We have passed, I don't know, Madam Speaker, I did see in the order paper that we have creative industry bill. Creatives, I think there was a bill concerning creatives, the young people to monetize their social media. Even as I did this, Madam Speaker, I want to, in your indulgence, pass my deepest condolences because we have lost one of the comedians called KK Mwenyewe yesterday or today morning. Madam Speaker, may his soul continue to rest. We used to get to enjoy ourselves whenever he used to act, and now may the family, God be with them during. So the creative, we want to request counties, Madam, I want to challenge counties. It is not enough to issue balls. It is not footballs or volleyballs, Madam Speaker. It's not enough to issue nets. It is not enough, Madam Speaker, to issue chemist kits. Counties can bring something creative through this allocation of funds, Madam Speaker. And therefore, even development, Madam Speaker, even as national government does development, Madam Speaker, because Over the weekend, I visited a place called Chepsir, Madam Speaker, and the roads, you know, Madam Speaker, in my region it is raining heavily. As you are aware, you are our neighbor. There is a lot of rains at the moment, and the roads are very pathetic and impassable. And I was shocked, Madam Speaker, that some of the agencies, and I'm happy there are changes in the agencies of roads in this country, in a road called Chepterit Moi University, Madam Speaker, and I was shocked with this, the engineering. You know, I'm not an engineer, I'm a lawyer like you, Madam Speaker. And as I was passing near Cap Chepsir, Madam Speaker, Chepsir village, next to Chepterit, those guys were putting maram, then they put tarmac on top. So I was wondering, what type of engineering is this? And that is why in this country, one of the biggest challenges, Madam Speaker, is misappropriation of funds. The EACC must be on lookout especially, and I'm happy EACC, Madam Speaker, were given access to e-procurement. We want them to take advantage and ensure that there is no misappropriation of funds. I hope and pray one day that the EACC will ensure, Madam Speaker, that there is access, there is no misappropriation of funds in our counties. Madam Speaker, you know the problem with OAG report is that we are morticians. We come after the fact, Madam Speaker. I want to challenge EACC to put in preventive mechanisms so that we don't lose resources in our counties, Madam Speaker, so that we get value for the money. You know, Senate, we come, they appear before Public Accounts Committee, we give out, we can't prevent because we are just morticians. The only time we have opportunity, Madam Speaker, is during now county revenue allocation. Then we come back after looking at the Office of the Auditor General report. I know there are many recommendations we can make as a Senate, but the only implementing agency, Madam Speaker, I have served in this house for some time. The only problem we face, and I know yourself, you go to a place, public parasa, people and what is Senate doing about stopping of funds? But they don't know, and I want to take this opportunity to inform Kenyans. The work of Parliament is to recommend. The work of investigation and prosecution is EACC and DPP. The much we can do, if there is misappropriation of funds in our counties, Madam Speaker, is only to recommend for prosecution, for investigation by the DPP, by EACC, especially on the issue of economic crimes, Madam Speaker. So on this one, Madam Speaker, because I want to allow most of my colleagues to be able to contribute, is to second by saying, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, this is a very critical bill. Madam Speaker, governors should be aware, this is not their funds. And I have had on several occasions, Madam Speaker, governors are they love and like senators during this time only, Madam Speaker. But when you go to the village, whether Kisumu or Busia, and you tell Governor Otuoma or Nyong'o that you have brought money, I had another governor, Madam Speaker, which I have tremendous respect. They should also ensure that these resources we give them is not theirs, it is the money of Kenyans. With those many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to second, and I thank you.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2025 be now read a second time. Senator Nyamo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill is not just about figures and physical frameworks. It is about deepening devolution, it's about unlocking stalled projects, and it is about winning the trust and the confidence in county service deliveries. Madam Speaker, we know that county governments continue to bear the weight of expectations from wananchi, from healthcare to ECD, education, water, infrastructure, and all that, Madam Speaker. Yet year after year, we continue to deal with delays, underfunding, and ceilings that lock any chances for innovation and progression in our counties. We are stuck in a rut, like we are funding recurring budgets and very little of innovation and responsiveness in our counties, Madam Speaker. I look forward to a time when allocations in our counties will be based on how much pending bills each county owes its people. And I look forward to when we have a specific allocation that must strictly go to pending bills, Madam Speaker. I have never understood why, as a Senate or as a country, we do not take pending bills seriously. Is it because ourselves, we are not business people? Because when you procure services, when you procure goods from our own citizen, Madam Speaker, it is only prudent that we pay our people. Why are we scamming, for lack of a better word, our people? Because, Madam Speaker, today, if I go to a restaurant and order for food when I don't have money in my pocket, Madam Speaker, that is tantamount to scamming. Why are we doing that to our people? And Madam Speaker, when this money goes to the hands of our people, it makes our economy run, because now businesses are underemploying because they don't have the money. The money is held by government, Madam Speaker. I do not know what we need to do as the 12th Parliament to make sure that as we finish our 5 years, we address the issue of pending bills, Madam Speaker. It weighs heavily in my heart and in my mind, the issue of pending bill, especially when young people are owed by government. We are crippling our own young people instead of supporting our young business people. We are the ones who are crippling them, Madam Speaker. Nairobi, as a city, has its own devolved complexities, and I'm looking forward to not just timely disbursements of this money, but also very clear accountability mechanisms that gives zero room for misallocation. And with that, I want to urge other members, my colleagues, to pass this bill with the urgency that it deserves. Our county governments cannot run on goodwill and loan. They need resources. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also make my contribution on the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2025. Madam Speaker, I listened carefully when the able Senator and Vice Chair of the committee was moving this bill, and thank her together with the committee for the work they have put into bringing us this bill. Madam Speaker, I wanted to start by saying that this is a very solemn duty that is bestowed upon the Senate after we have passed the division of revenue bill. We have divided the monies between the national government and the county governments. Now, when we are discussing this bill, the proposition is to divide the monies amongst the counties. And Mr. Speaker, many people wonder what Senate does. And it has taken a lot of explanation, because sometimes senators don't say this enough, but it is after we pass, for those who are listening to us at this time, it is after we pass this law that the money is made available to the county governments and the county assemblies, so that this money is then applied for the good of the people, hopefully, at the county levels. Madam Speaker, the mover of the motion stated clearly that before they came in to move this bill and during the recess, they had lengthy consultations with over 20 county assemblies who came before the committee to explain the needs they have within the counties. And Madam Speaker, one of those counties was Tana River County Assembly. Tana River County Assembly, Madam Speaker, made its propositions, and the big issue here is that our county assemblies have been denied sufficient funds for them to carry out oversight duties. They have made this plainly clear to me when I went to address the assembly, and even when I went with the committee to meet a sister committee in Tana River County, that they are having a problem with the slashed funds. And this makes it very difficult for committees to be able to move and carry out their oversight duties. Madam Speaker, many of them are not able to fund the normal activities of oversight for standing committees of the county assemblies. And this includes the County Assembly of Tana River. Madam Speaker, this creates a problem because then if primary oversight is not carried out properly, then it becomes a challenge, because then for us who are carrying out the secondary oversight at the national level, at the Senate level, we overwork ourselves. And it is because those county executives were not called to account at the county level. The CECs, the chief officers were not called to account at the county level. So then, Madam Speaker, we have a backlog because reports are not being done. The governors come here before the Senate and they also have a backlog. So we have a problem in terms of the funding, Madam Speaker. Twining with that, Madam Speaker, there is the issue of we are doing secondary oversight. They are doing primary oversight. And because sometimes we are conflicting, you will find a CEC or a chief officer who is being asked in those rare occasions to appear before a county assembly committee says, no, I am being called to Nairobi, or I'm accompanying the governor to Nairobi. And Madam Speaker, it creates a systemic problem. And we need to sort this out so that county assemblies are properly funded and they are able to deal with their primary oversight duties. Madam Speaker, this is a message that has been given to me formally by our county assembly members. I know they appeared before the committee, and I know that the committee has looked at them favorably, but not enough. What the County Assembly of Tana River has said, they want more allocation so that they are able to carry out primary oversight duties. And I'm sure, Madam Speaker, it is not just the Tana River County Assembly committees. There are so many other committees that are having issues with funding so that they can do the primary oversight duties. Madam Speaker, the other issue that has been brought to life in this law, in this proposed law, is the proposed Section 10 of this County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2025. Madam Speaker, if you look at that section, it provides, not Section 9, it provides for the action that constitute financial misconduct. And Madam Speaker, when you look at this, I wanted to take the floor of the House, Madam Speaker, to really emphasize this point. Why is this important is that there is a schedule that has been provided for of how monies are supposed to depart from the National Treasury and go into County Revenue Fund, the CRF. Madam Speaker, this movement from Treasury, despite the schedules that we pass here, and the law being that it's the law, it has to be obeyed, they never follow these schedules. And because of this failure to follow the instruction that is given by the Senate, we have very difficult operational circumstances within the counties. Madam Speaker, you can have a county that has not paid its workers for a period of 2 months, sometimes even 3 months, Madam Speaker. And when these workers are not paid for that long, and suddenly money comes, a lot of money comes at the same time, it creates inefficiencies, systemic inefficiencies. And this is why I have called many times for the separation of the Treasury so that we have two clear functions. Treasury that is dedicated to servicing national government, and a treasury or a sub-office dedicated to serving the county assemblies, so that there is always money that is released timeously. Because, Madam Speaker, money has value when it is released on time. If you need now 10,000 shillings, it may not be useful to get 100,000 shillings or even 1,000,000 shillings 2 days later, when 10,000 was required now for a purpose. That 10,000 becomes more valuable than the 100,000 or the 1,000,000 that comes 2 days or 3 days or 2 months later. Madam Speaker, we need to find a way in which officers at the Treasury can prioritize proper movement of monies. If this schedule is obeyed, then we should have less problems in terms of counties managing their finances. I will not repeat that governors, as they receive this money, they must remember they have a duty to the people. They have a duty to do work. Once we have finished with this, they have a constitutional and a civic duty, in fact, even a spiritual duty, to make sure that this money reaches those areas that are needed. Madam Speaker, it is not enough for us to just pass these monies. These monies, when they go down there, they must do the work so that devolution makes sense. We have seen counties that have done very well, and we have seen counties that have not done as well. We pray, Madam Speaker, as we pass these monies in this financial year, they will be utilized in the manner that is equivalent to the shared value of devolution. With those so many words, Madam Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Honourable Senators, I don't see other contributors, so I now wish to call the mover to reply.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I really want to start by appreciating my colleagues led by Senator Cheralgay Senator for Nandi for the great input while seconding this very important bill for this House at this critical time. Also to thank my sister, Senator Karen Nyamu, from also Nairobi County, where we both represent, for her great input, knowing very well Nairobi is really leading with the issues of pending bills. And so this bill is very critical, not only to this great county of Nairobi, but also cutting across to all the 47 counties, Madam Speaker, and also to appreciate the legend, none other than Senator Mungatana, for his wonderful input, Madam Speaker. And I know also, Madam Speaker, if you were also seated on this other side, we would have had your great submission, as you've always submitted before this House, Madam Speaker, because I don't want to take too much time. I really appreciate them, and I do beg that the putting of the question be deferred to a later date. Thank you.
Yeah, the putting of the question is so deferred. Next order.
Order number 11, the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2025, second reading.
Is it Senator Mutinda again? Senator Mutinda?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me to move that the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, Bill 2025, be read a second time. Madam Speaker, the Equalization Fund Bill, Senate Bill number 7, which was published before this House and was first read on the 27th of June, pursuant to our standing orders. Equalization Fund is also established under Article 204. Madam Speaker, it's not the first time I'm moving the Equalization Bill, and this bill is very critical, especially to the marginalized regions or areas that have been focused on, Madam Speaker. And I've always stated, and I'll always state, that the main aim, the main goal of the Equalization Fund is to be able to facilitate on issues that cut across the health sector, the roads issue, the water sector, and electricity, Madam Speaker, more so narrowing to the marginalized regions and areas, Madam Speaker. According to the CRA, Madam Speaker, we have 1,424 marginalized areas that spread and cut across the 34 counties, different counties, Madam Speaker. Equalization bill, Madam Speaker, as I've said, is not a new bill to this House. And the Senate Bill number 7 provides for appropriation of 16.8 billion from the Equalization Fund for financial year 2025-2026. The proposed amount, the 16.296 billion, shall be shared or should be shared among the 34 beneficiary counties. This is based on the second policy on marginalization. Annexed from the bill on Equalization Fund allocation of the 1,424 marginalized areas which had been identified, 504 million is to be allocated to the Equalization Fund Advisory Board. The 504 million is for administration cost as pursuant to the PFM regulations. And Madam Speaker, the committee had carried out public participation on the bill in accordance to our standing orders. And in this participation, we were able to invite different stakeholders. You know, in the Committee of Finance, we have, stakeholders that we are always engaging with them, led by the Minister for Finance. We have the Commission of Revenue Allocation, the County Assemblies Forum, Madam Speaker, and at this point we had a special stakeholder called the Old Pumwani Landlord Community, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I proceed, the committee was able to make different observations as far as the issue of equalization fund is concerned. One of them, Madam Speaker, the bill provided for allocation of per county and subsequently per constituency, the projects to be funded are only in the identified marginalized areas. A review of the projects identified by Equalization Fund Advisory Board as of June 2024, that was last year, indicated that the total 1,415 projects have been proposed to be implemented under the second marginalization policy. Madam Speaker, as I proceed, the Equalization Fund has two Appropriations Act in place. One, we have the Equalization Fund Appropriation Act, number 3 of 2018, amounting to 12.4 billion, being allocation of the financial year, and I want you to note that the financial year 2014-2015, 2015-16 and 2016-17 implemented through the first marginalization policy. Madam Speaker, you hear this financial years. These are almost 10 years ago, Madam Speaker. The challenge that we've had, Madam Speaker, as far as the issue of equalization fund is concerned, is the reimbursement of this fund, Madam Speaker, to the beneficiary counties, to the beneficiary marginalized areas, Madam Speaker. And that's why you find that this 12.4 billion was the first allocation, Mr. Speaker. The second act of the Equalization Fund Appropriation number 7 of 2023 was 10.3 billion, being the allocation now of the recent financial year, which is financial year 21, 22, 22, and 23 for the second marginalization policy. However, the implementation of the second act is yet to be fully implemented in regards to the disbursement of the money to the fund, Mr. Speaker. As of June 2024, that is last year, remember this equalization fund was within a period of 20 years, Mr. Speaker. The only amount that has been disbursed is the first allocation of around the 12.4. But as we speak, as at now, the fund stands to have arrears outstanding amounting to 46.5 billion out of the 59.96 billion. This is an implication of 13.4% that has been only sent for the fund since inception. The lack of funds, Mr. Speaker, the lack of the disbursement, and I'm saying the disbursement because where the problem has been through the Ministry of Treasury and Planning, Economic Planning, whereby these funds or these disbursements have not been honored by the minister himself. If these funds had been disbursed as scheduled, as prioritized, as amounted, Mr. Speaker, we will not be talking of arrears amounting to 46 billion today. Mr. Speaker, in the bill, the committee, having considered the bill and analyzed the stakeholder submissions, we made some few recommendations. One, amendments to clause 3 of the bill by deleting the expression 2041 and substituting with the expression 2042. This is because basic services be provided via equalization fund are provided in Article 2042 of the Constitution. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, amending the schedule to the bill in column 2 of the item 13 with respect to Kitui County by deleting the word Kisumu and substituting with Kitui. Mr. Speaker, the emphasis as far as equalization fund is concerned is just basically on the areas that are in place. We look forward as a committee to having the CS Mbadi next week on Thursday morning so that we can also be able to engage him as far as the issue of equalization fund is concerned. This is a fund that should have achieved its purpose. The reason it has delayed, the reason it has had this delay is because the disbursements have basically not been honored, Mr. Speaker. And with those and many few remarks, I want to thank my colleagues at the committee level, led by my chair, Honorable Senator Roba, and the rest that we work very closely with, the Secretariat led by Gitonga, we have Beverly, Lucy, and the team, that we work closely as far as these issues of the committee are concerned. And at this time, because we still have another bill which is also timely that we have to look into. I want to call Senator Cheryl Guy to be able to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And it's good to see you again in this new week. I'm impressed on how Senator Mutinda is pronouncing my name. I think she's pronouncing it with a British accent, or is it American accent? Madam Speaker, I want to continue to commend Senator Mutinda for the good job that she's doing as the vice chairperson. I think that's why I said, Mr. Speaker, in the morning, or before, a few hours ago, that Senator Mutinda continues to distinguish herself as one of the prolific debaters of this session. And I can see she's learning the ropes too fast. And I hope the position she will aspire to, she'll be able to continue her debating prowess, because she always does her work with an eye of military marksman or markswoman. Well, Mr. Speaker, as I second the issue of equalization fund, as I equalization, I think Senator Karen Nyamu, Mr. Speaker, you know, I attended one of the best schools in this country. I'm an alma mater of Kapsabet Boys High School, the only school that has produced 2 presidents, the late His Excellency Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, and the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, and that is the 5th now. So you can imagine, and we are going to give him 2 terms. Mr. Speaker, and also possibly the 7th. Yours truly, of course. So in English, I said she does her work with an eye of military marksman or markswoman, because now military has both women and men. And of course, to show appreciation to our women leaders led by Senator Mutinda. Speaker, this is a very fairly short bill. I agree with the mover that, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what is happening with National Treasury. They are putting us in crisis mode. Because this 46.5 billion that is owed through equalization fund continue to cripple provision of services, Mr. Speaker. As you are aware, Article 204 of the Constitution 2010, these funds were supposed to use for basics, like hospitals, like roads, and other, like roads, basics, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that the Finance and Budget Committee and the Senate Business Committee schedules a committee of the whole, led by you, Speaker, so that we bring CS of Treasury, CS Mbadi, to come and sit here and tell us, Mr. Speaker, these 424 marginalized areas, including your county, Garissa County, where you come from. Although the other day, the putting of firewood in Masjid, one of your markets within town, was a problem, Mr. Speaker, because I'm told even the people who fight firefighters are not well trained, which is very unfortunate. So on these 424 marginalized areas, Mr. Speaker, of 34 counties, why is it that 46.5 billion is yet to be released? This will continue to cripple services. Mr. Speaker, over the weekend, one of artists from Nandi County called Jantex, Speaker, in a place called Cherondo, which that is in Kapchorwa Ward, between Kapchorwa, Lesos Ward, Mr. Speaker, and also Soba Sonko. Those words, Mr. Speaker, are the words that has been classified to get equalization fund. I saw our local artists, DJ Kaptula, I saw a number of them, Mara Vuria, and a number of artists who are complaining that the roads were bad. We agree with them, they are bad. But it is because of lack of release of this amount of money, so that we can fix that road from Cherondo all the way as it opens up to Imagi Trading Center, Mr. Speaker. So even as I apologize, because also, Mr. Speaker, you know, unlike Garissa, Nandi is raining. We have been blessed. And you know it's next to the, you know Nandi, Mr. Speaker, has 3 forests. It has Nandi North, Nandi South, and Kimondi Forest, Mr. Speaker. And even Tindred Forest, where we share with Kericho County. That road, that all the way to Kapkoros, all the way to Tindred, to Maraba, Mr. Speaker, and all the way that it opens to Maraba and Taptengele, to all these other parts of Tindred, is also part of the roads that under Soba Songo, Mr. Speaker. To put this context on this issue of equalization fund, in fact, in Nandi, Senator Mutinda benefits with 4 wards. That is Songo Soba ward in Tindred sub-county, Kapchorwa ward in Nandi Hills constituency, Chemilil Chemase ward, Mr. Speaker, in Tindred constituency. That's around 200 million plus. So in this 46.5 billion that is yet to be released, out of 424 marginalized areas, Mr. Speaker, Nandi should be the biggest beneficiary. In fact, I'm coming with a motion, and I will try to appeal, because the Vice Chairperson, Senator Mutinda, is here, for Nandi to be given 2 extra wards as marginalized areas. That is Terik ward in Aldai constituency and Cheptirwai ward in Masab constituency, Mr. Speaker. And I know even here in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, do you know we have what we call up and poor? There are people who are living in Nairobi, but they cannot access the basics, including food, water, and shelter. Mukuru Kwanjenga, Kibra, Mr. Speaker. We imagine that since 60% of GDP is in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, they are well off. The biggest threat in this nation, Mr. Speaker, is the up and poor. Lack of basic amenities like water, Mr. Speaker, health care, clothing, food, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I want to support and congratulate President William Ruto on his aim of affordable housing program to bring dignity to many Kenyans who live in slum areas, Mr. Speaker, where there is no dignity. But the President is saying it is not us we who are better off that should live in better housing, Mr. Speaker. Even in this Nairobi city, we have seen even apart, even, you know, Talanta Hela Sports Stadium in Ngong Road, Mr. Speaker. This, in fact, I am surprised. With the greatest up and poor, Mr. Speaker, you find some families who live in Kibra, who live in Eastern Pipers. They don't have playground. You see them when you drive on the weekend along the Pipers. They are trying to